I normally don't ask about specifics, and feel free not to answer the question, but I'm curious to know what someone can expect as a dancer-singer or singer-dancer working on Carnival.
Yeah, I won't give you exact numbers only because, like I said, I'd like to keep my rapport with the company, and I don't know if that's information I can divulge.
Right.
But I do know that the range for dancers and singers is so huge because of the separation of dancer, dancer-singer, singer-dancer, and singer. In that order. So if you are just a dancer, I have friends who are on very large lines that you would assume would have a nice salary that are making between $1,500 and $1,800 a month as a dancer. Okay. And to me, I'm like, how do you eat?
Right.
That to somebody else, that might be great, but I just don't get it.
Well, you live in Toronto. That's a large city. So
right. Yeah.
I'm from Los Angeles, so I get it.
But then again, because I actually submitted for a world cruise a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, before I started my most recent contract with Carnival. And it was with a smaller cruise company. So usually you expect a smaller pay, but they offered the same range. It was between $1,500 and $1,800. And had I been offered that contract, I might have taken it because it was literally a world cruise. So I think it depends on your wants as a person and your place in life as well. On the other end of the spectrum, I know that with companies, when they have somebody with them for a long time that they value.
Are you interested in learning the 7 alarming things that cruise ship contracts are hiding in the fine print? Go to shiplifetv.com/contract secrets and find out for free. Because one of the biggest problems that I see with new hires is that they don't know what they're signing up for. And they show up on day one and they're expected to know everything that's in a 6-page legal contract. So go to shiplifetv.com/contract secrets to watch almost an hour's worth of free content where I break down a 6-page contract and you can learn everything that you need to about vacation, schedule, pay, overtime, benefits, and so much more. That's shiplifetv.com/contract secrets to become a member of the Shiplife TV community and get free access to the crew library. Now back to the video.
I've heard rumors of people making $8,000 to $10,000 a month because they've been getting raise after raise after raise, and they retired, and then they were asked to come back for the opening of this show or an inaugural cruise of this, and they just keep getting offered more because they like them. Now that's what I've heard. Don't quote me on this 10 grand a month thing all over the internet. But typically with a dancer singer position, you're usually looking at least a minimum of $3,000 a month as a starting point. And I know that across the line because I've talked to a couple of different agents who hire for different cruise lines, because there are few dancer singer spots. It's not very common. You're either one or the other. So it does pay a good middle of the road salary to begin with, at least. And then, you're going to get a raise from there. Like you said, you can negotiate a better contract. And a singer dancer, on the other hand, is going to get at least a couple of grand more a month. Right. So it's, like I said, the separation between dancers and singers and people who can do both and one or the other is stronger. You're also going to get different perks, like maybe your own room. So it all depends on what's most important to you. But that's kind of the average starting range for different companies that I know that hire those positions. Right.
That's I think that those are some really good numbers, at least to set some expectations on. And it's a good reminder that not a lot of it, it's all based on value. How much can you do? And obviously as singers are valued a little bit more than dancers, and that's why a dancer-singer will make less than a singer-dancer. And I will say too that, Carnival pays very, very well. And it's one of the reasons that I've stayed with them for so long. However, you do have quite a lot of duties. So I have talked to, like I said, when we chatted before, we probably have friends on every other line in the world. I have friends on Disney, Princess, Celebrity, Norwegian. And you talk because you need to know what's going on. But after talking with friends of mine who have worked in similar positions that I have, we are higher on the spectrum of
other duties outside of our profession on Carnival. So that might be a reflection in our paycheck, because if you go to another line, you might just be doing safety briefing and you can do whatever the heck you want every other day other than your shows. So that is also something to keep in mind too, right? You are doing a little bit more work for that paycheck.
Right. Absolutely. Because I know that my experience is on Celebrity, and for the Celebrity cast, the dancers and the singers, I don't remember them having, very many other.
I have a friend who I asked a little while ago, and she confusingly answered me and was like, well, we do safety briefing. And I was like, I don't even consider that a duty, because everybody does safety briefing.
Right,
like I
exactly.
meant, how many dance classes do you teach? And do you have to go to the kids club? And do you do library? Like, that's what I meant.
Exactly,
she was like,
exactly.
oh, no. So, I mean, I would take a pay cut to not do that stuff, but that's me personally.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I was interviewing another singer dancer a few months ago, and I can't remember which ship she was on, but she was on one of the smaller ships, and it was the same thing, because when I was coming from the expectation of, you just have your standard singer dancer duties, but and then she was talking about like doing those classes with the guests, and anyway, there was a lot more that was
we helped
involved.
out with fundraisers. We did tenders, duty and things like that, port duty. So, and some things are not for everyone, and some things are, certain activities like that, some people love them.
Right.
And it depends on how your manager decides to put things out. I would ask my cast, like, I prefer to do, we have got 4 duties to split between the dancers. I prefer this one. So if you want to just pick one and we do the same one every week, so that we don't go, oh, now I'm on that this week, then you have an easier or more happier contract, because that one activity that you actually enjoy doing, you get to do all the time.
Right.
So it's so dependent on the situation too.
Yeah, absolutely.